Series. Wayne Gardner has forfeited his world crown to Eddie Lawson. He's a true champ, and next year the Wollongong Wiz, his Honda team, they'll be out there all keyed up to get that title back. Another Australian who'll be keen to improve his standing too is Kevin Magee. During the week, Darryl Eastlake talked to him about the 88 season and his hopes for 89 when the 4.5-kilometre Phillip Island track is presently undergoing a $3 million facelift. That'll host the first ever Swan Premium Australian Motorcycle Grand Prix. That's from April 6 to 9.
The season started for Kevin Magee with a swap of countries and farms. The youngster from the small Victorian township of Horsham spent the off-season honing his skills on dirt racetracks at the home of his mentor, Kenny Roberts, at his motorcycling ranch at Modesto in California, along with his teammate Wayne Rainey. From the Roberts dirt, Magee then hit the big time on the world's most demanding tracks, scoring an unbelievable win at the Spanish Grand Prix.
His first Grand Prix win for the 25-year-old from Horsham in Victoria.
And a third in Portugal. But it hasn't all been a bed of roses. Magee has earned his bones by bending a few.
Oh. And Magee.
This week, Kevin was back home for a family visit and the chance to inspect the venue for Australia's entry into the World Championship battle.
Well, here we are standing right on the tip of Victoria, at a place called Phillip Island. Now, as you can see, it's a very rural setting and it runs straight into the ocean. It's a great setting for a racetrack that hasn't been used since the early 60s, when the original Bathurst race, then known as the Armstrong 500, was raced here. The track in those days broke up to the point where the track just couldn't be maintained. It was too much money. Since those days, a group of enterprising young fellas have got together and they've poured millions of dollars here, and it's going to bring the best motorcycle races to this country, the 500cc races, the people I call the bravest sportsmen in the world. We'll have Kevin Magee, Wayne Gardner, and perhaps some other Australians right here at Phillip Island. Now, they're expecting over 100,000 people. Accommodation is already booked out here. It's going to be one hell of a race meeting. Well, Kevin, you've just had a quick run around and had a look at the track so far. Your first impressions?
Looks great, actually. Should be fairly fast. A lot of the tracks overseas have got sort of a lot too much, I think, second and third gear stuff, and this looks like it's going to be quite quick and pretty exciting.
Looking at the straight here, you come on past the pits and down behind us into a fairly tight right-hander. What sort of speeds do you estimate you'll be doing here?
Well, it looks like, from what we've done with gearboxes and the corner speeds, the length of the straight, looks like about 290 k's here, and it's not a tight corner down there. It looks like about fourth gear, so
really?
That'd be probably around 200 k's.
200 k's around that bottom?
Yeah.
Look pretty tight to me. Do you think it's a setting that the Europeans are going to feel comfortable in? I mean, will they like this here?
Probably might be a bit too much like the bush for them, though, used to.
Are you pleased that we've now got around?
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be great, you know. And I think it's fair enough with two Australians and quite possibly more next year that we should have one. You know, all the other countries and probably lots of countries that have got Grand Prix probably shouldn't have them with the facilities that they run them at, and, you know, no riders and all that sort of thing. So I reckon it's pretty fair.
All right, Kevin, well, let's get off the main straight here and we'll go over and have a look at the pit area.
Yeah, righto. I think the mechanics are going to be pretty impressed there.
Okay. Well, what do you think of the pit area? I mean, does that compare with most of the European tracks?
Well, I'd say it's above the standard of most of them. There's been a couple of good ones, and they were probably Czechoslovakia and Paul Ricard would have been the best ones. The ones in England at Donington were pretty good too, but so that'd be the top three, and you know, they wouldn't be any better than this.
Kevin, the other thing I like the look of is this run-in area. It's nice and wide. It looks pretty safe. The big apron out the front. Do you think that'll do the job?
Yeah, you do need a bit of room because quite often a lot more people end up in pit roads than there should be. And a bit of space there doesn't hurt at all.
Pit lane has been one of the success stories of the Adelaide Formula One Grand Prix. And if it works for Adelaide, it should work for Phillip Island. Well, that's the theory anyway. And the pit lane designers here are copying the Adelaide setup as closely as possible. In other areas, they're hoping to profit from Adelaide's mistakes, one of them being a problem of spectator access to the infields. After all, everyone who comes to a race meeting wants to visit pit lane at some time or another, and that's where this tunnel comes in.
It's probably the one thing that lacks for the spectators in Adelaide. I mean, they can't move from one end to the other unless you go over these little narrow bridges. This is going to be the best asset on the day, eh?
Yeah, with a track with all the pits and everything on the inside, I think it's a necessity. A few of the tracks overseas haven't got it, and you've got to wait to get out after or in between practice sessions.
The biggest hassle anticipated for Phillip Island is access to the island from the mainland. The only link is this narrow bridge. Traffic on race day could be a problem. Not that that'll keep the crowds away, mind you, but it might at least test their tempers a little. After all, when it's all said and done, it's neither the riders nor the organisers who'll make the Australian Motorcycle Grand Prix a rip-roaring success. It's the people who come to watch. And the majority of those people will be at the island to watch our very quick Aussies, Wayne Gardner and Magee, who surprisingly is disappointed after his first full season in Grand Prix racing.
It turned out to be a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I'd done 3 Grand Prix last year, and it all looked reasonably simple from the outside, you know, fly in, do the Grand Prix, and go home again. Now, it's quite a bit different when you're over there and got to drive a motorhome to and from the Grand Prix, and I'm sure that I'll go a lot better next year just with the experience, knowing exactly what to expect, and I think it'll be much easier.
Yes, it should be a great occasion there at Phillip Island, the Swan Premium Motorcycle Grand Prix, 500cc Motorcycle Grand Prix, and tickets are on sale now for that event. It's on April 6 to 9, 1989, and the tickets are available in New South Wales and the Australian Capital Territory at Ticketek, in Victoria at Bass, in Queensland at Ticket World, in South Australia at Bass, and in Western Australia at the Perth Entertainment Centre. Tickets on sale now for that Swan Premium 500cc Motorcycle Grand Prix, and let's hope it is as good as the Adelaide Grand Prix. Well, speaking of speedsters, Florence Griffiths-Joyner is the fastest woman in the world at present, and if she proves that